Alrighty, welcome back everyone. I am Blaze here. Today's video is on some of the best and most iconic quests from the Kunark expansion of EverQuest. But before I begin, I want to give a very special and heartfelt thank you to everybody who watches these videos, subscribed or not, the people who have subscribed, the people who like all these videos. I'm just kind of mind blown how successful this channel has been just because of all of you. Thank you all for being a part of this. But let's get to the video. So this by no means is exhaustive. I'm just focusing on the quests that pretty much everyone would know, some of the most iconic quests of this time. But please leave a comment below if you believe I missed anything. And I want to say thank you to all the people who helped out, giving me ideas. I put out a post on the community tab and a lot of people replied and gave some good areas where I should go look at. So the first quest we will talk about today is Drolvarg Teeth, or Canines. You can do this from about level 25 to 45, and it involves killing any Drolvarg, whether that be in Froniavi, Dreadlands, Karner's Castle, looting the canines off of them, and then turning them into Captain Neolith in Froniavi, and he'll give you some experience, a little bit of money, some faction for Froniavi, and some food. It was a little weird when I got the footage for this quest. I guess at some later expansion, all the good races get kicked out of the main base and Dark Elves conquer it. So you have to go to a different portion of the zone. But if you're playing in Kunark, if you're playing in Velius, you'll just go to the normal outpost that everybody does. The next quest is a big one. It's one of the better items and actually not too difficult to acquire. If you have charm, that is. It's called a new worker, and you can do this in your 50s. So you go to the over there, and all you need is a jade, and you turn it in to a skeleton called an undead foreman. Now, the only issue is that you need amiable faction with Veneral Saphir. You need to be amiable to the foreman in order for the quest to work. So you can grind out the faction, it's a pain, but any classic and charm can easily do this, as well as there's this item called Puppet Strings that drops off a Kazakh Thule in Plane of Fear that can allow any class to charm. So what people would do on P99 is they would buy a charge of the Puppet String, have an enchanter go down there and tash the foreman, so it'd be more likely to land, charm it, hand in the jade, and then bingo presto, you got your worker sledgehammer. And what's nice about this item is it is a proc port to the over there that anybody can use, and it's not that far away from Plane of Knowledge Stone and later on, but it's a really quick way to get to Kunark to avoid having to wait for the boat. The only thing is it weighs a lot and it can only fit in giant bags, so you want to get a 100% weight reduction bag that is giant specifically. The next one is the Dazak Signet of Service. This is actually a quest line, a 3-series quest line. The first part takes place in Chardok, and all it requires is Wormly faction with the Dazak with the Sarnax. You just hail Herald Telka right at the entrance, and you'll get this really nice stat ring, so long as your faction's good. The second quest is for the Regal Band of Bathazid, and this involves killing 2 different goblins, one in Frontier Mountains and the other in Droga, taking those items back to Chardok, and you'll get this nice rechargeable damage shield ring, and you can recharge it so long as you have ally faction with the Zok. And the last item in this quest line is called the Spirit Rack Cord, which actually has a really nice permanent hit point regen buff and a little extra attack. You can put it in shoulders, arms, or your wrist. It involves getting some items from Sebelis, as well as howling stones, turning in your old ring to actually the queen in Chardok way down deep, and you'll get this item. This next quest I think is the most iconic. I didn't have any footage of it, but I remember having one of these way back in the day, and it is the Wurmslayer quest. It's a really cool looking weapon. So this actually takes place in a bunch of different zones, but you get a Peridot, you kill a gargoyle in the over there, you get some scales from 2 different dragons. I think they're both in Burning Woods. turn it into a NPC in Fronia Vi, and bingo presto, you got a really nice weapon. I saw a lot of melees actually use this as their main go-to weapon before they got their epics. Next one is the Necromancer Skullcap quest. So this is a series of 9 quests that all race Necros can do, not just Ixars, but it is a quest line that comes from Cabalist, from the Ixar Necromancer Guild. And I actually got it MQ'd. I didn't actually do the quest line. I was very fortunate, but this is what's considered to be the true Necro epic because it has a 10-second cast dot that's a life tap dot. Actually gives you like 120 hit points per tick. It's really, really nice. It compensates for your hit points being lost off a lich, and it's mana free. You can't argue with it. So I'm actually going to be showing footage of playing my Necro, and anytime you see me click that little skull, I'm using that dot. The next one is Warrior Pike quests, and this is Ixar Warrior only. Only Ixar Warriors. It's a series of 8 quests from the Cabalist Warrior Guild that gives a really nice piercing weapon that can go on primary and on your back, and it has a stun as well as a little bit of a damage hit. Next is the Monk Shackle quest. It's a series of 8 quests that all monks can do, not just Ixars. It takes place in the Cabalist Monk Guild. Reptox, he had this beautiful video showing all the different steps of getting the Ixar Monk Shackles. Next one is called the Crusader Test quests. It's a series of 8 quests where the last weapon actually gives you a bit of prelude for the Luklin expansion of where you go take out Shishars in SSRA. It is the first Bane weapon for Shishars, and you need a Bane weapon in order to take out the end boss. Next quest is a shield. It's called Sacred Shield of the Dread. I actually have the guide on how to do this, and it is for Ixar, Shaman, and Necro only. It's actually a life tap shield. It's a 13-second cast life tap you can throw out, and it just involves getting items from a bunch of different zones and then turning them into Cabalists. I very rarely use the shield though because it took 13 to 14 seconds to cast, which is ridiculously long. This shield I saw got used a lot. Dithagar's Defender quest, it gives you a shield that gives a buff called Primal Essence, which is a boost to strength, agility, stamina, and dex for an hour. All clerics, pally, shaman, and druids can get this shield, can use it. And this thing put in some work in Kunark and Abelius. A lot of people really like this one. And the biggest quest that becomes available in Kunark is the epic quest for every single class. It's a long series of tasks where you get your signature and class defining weapon. I actually have a video series for Bard, Ranger, and Necromancer on my channel, so if you need any help, it's right there. These next 2 are necessary to do stuff in Kunark, so the next one is called the Howling Stones Key. I have a video guide on this as well. This is how you get access to get into Howling Stones. It just involves killing 2 different mobs, getting loot off of them, and then turning it into a frog block. But Howling Stones is a bit of a risky zone because not everybody gets this key, and if you die down there, corpse recovery and getting reses is really, really painful. I love to group there. It's one of the best for undead. Like for clerics, pallies, necromancers, it's a great undead zone. Next quest is for the old sebelis key, and it just involves killing frogluck foragers and hunters in Trekanon's Teeth, get some medallions, and then just turn it into Emperor Ganok in the same zone, and you'll get your seb key. Must do, so you can take out Trekanon. And the last quest we'll talk about here today is for the vshans Peak. It involves going to pretty much every single zone in Kunark, and when you finish this, it gives you access to essentially the hardest raid zone in Kunark, vshans Peak. And it's a series of 3 different medallion quests that eventually combine into one key. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.